There's something I'm trying to figure out. I know that. And I know you're trying to figure it out too. There's all this talk going around and seemingly evidence of supernatural things, abilities, things we can tap into. There's a lot circling around. We're starting to notice more and more people are becoming aware that there's a mystery. Scooby Doo. You know how Scooby Doo is really popular? It started in, or I want to say the 70s and 80s. So from like the 70s to the 90s, Scooby Doo was extremely popular. It was like my favorite cartoon as a kid. I mean, I remember having a Scooby Doo themed 12-year-old birthday party. Like, I loved Scooby Doo. And there's a reason that something that big and that lasted that type of a length of time, 3 decades at least, and it's still actually playing. So I'm just really only referencing the time that I experienced it. But Scooby Doo, it's all about mysteries, unveiling, going in the mystery van with your gang and unmasking reality as it's presenting itself to you. It's like there's so much happening that we have a lot to unveil. We have a lot to discover, a lot to like understand from. It's an inner stand as well, like overstand. We're understanding so we can understand, so we can overstand. Guys, anything we can imagine is possible. I feel like that should be the billboard of everything. Anything we can imagine is possible. Or else we wouldn't be able to imagine it. You know what I'm saying? Like, as someone, you get like a piece of paper, you draw, you create, you form something out of Play-Doh, or you build something out of Legos. You build something in a video game, right? You experience virtual reality, some sort of other world, right? You literally enter your imagination and you create imagination. You know what I'm saying? You're imagining a nation. And I'm sure if we look into the etymology, which I have not, nation may have something to do with like a boundary of air, like, encapsulating like a people or so you're taking something from your thought and you're bringing it into the tangible. All right. Mystery. It's such a mystery. Guys, look. So we got the galactic mushroom here, the divine matrix. It's literally coming out to co-sign for the fact that I was trying to describe this galactic mushroom that we're in. We're in this simulation. We are somehow related to everything in creation, and we also can't like fully understand if there's stuff happening outside of us, yet we also know there is because we can measure it. This is scientific. It's already being discovered. It's more so about how do they present it to the masses? How do they explain to people that are 10, 20, 30, 50, 60 to 100 years in the past? There are people we are living in the past, in the present, because it's what is available to our consciousness, the ability for our consciousness to receive what it's ready for is here. It's about, are we ready to receive it? Think about our grandparents or whoever's grandparents couldn't perceive certain things we have today, which means there's things that we cannot perceive that are going to happen in our lifetime. If we think back to any of the, brilliant inventors that made it mainstream into our storybooks, because that's what they are. They're storybooks. They're someone telling a story inside of books, and then they teach it to us. So in somebody's past, we had this timeline expansion happen. We went from, wow, there's these random geniuses, let's tell them the stories of these humans, along with the struggle and the victories and the bloodshed and the fear, religion. And I mean, they literally start creating a bunch of boxes and shoving us in them. It's like separating us. We don't start off that way. The galactic mushroom is all of creation. Hi.
Can I play with you?
Yeah, but let me finish. Okay.
Call me when you're done.
Okay. The galactic mushroom is us interacting with everything and everyone, but not really perceiving that there is space and time, or what we conceive of that, like how we perceive that. There's vibrations and frequencies and energies around us experiencing and happening at all times that we are interacting with, but we can't perceive it. What's crazy to me is when we're alone, or when we're close to high vibration or far away from other consciousnesses, like when our body is in silence or in the dark, you know when that moment when people are like, I'm bored, I don't want to, I need to listen to music, I need to be distracted, I need to be stimulated externally because it's, I'll fall asleep. Or there's many things people say that spaces of meditation can be birthed from or avoided. It's like we've structured it this way. So now we're all floating, we're drifting, we're these boats in the ocean, these small boats. Instead of a large ship or many large ships, we're small boats all spread out. We're weak, we're defenseless, we're not really aware of the magnitude of energy that we have access to at all times. We are constantly manifesting and creating our lives. We constantly have access to tap into the galactic mushroom, which is the collective energy consciousness working together in an expansive, contractive way. Like, that's what it is, and we're a part of it synchronistically. But we're all separated and floating and drifting, experiencing life as it comes, which is a back and forth, because you experience life as it comes at you, right? Where you get to make a choice to go left or right. But you also experience life as it comes by letting go, by opening up, by being free, by forgiving, by letting the barriers break down and become vulnerable and open and true and honest. Like, the way that you express yourself confidently and clearly and believe in yourself, which is what they've preached to us since we were children in the movies. And, they say these things on the walls, they sound good, like, but do they actually stand behind these quotes, these motivational breadcrumbs that are in essence true? They ring true to our soul, to our core, but to some degree, they don't truly act upon that. We tend to believe in people's words over their actions. So we're separated, we're confused, we're not actually paying attention. And now, by doing this, we're at this separation. So I'm channeling messages and they're coming through really fast. So it's really important for us to just slow down. If we could just slow down, take a breath. Meditation doesn't have to be something weird. It can literally just be like chill. Like, just relax, just with nothing. Like, take away all the distractions and attachments and meditate. Come into your center. If you think about clearing your mind, you're going to be thinking, which is not clearing your mind. If you try to meditate, you're not going to meditate. Just be. I read somewhere, your soul is just being, meaning it's just experiencing. It's like of course, I have some conceptualized idea where I see this figure meditating deep within my soul. It's like a black figure, meaning like shadow, like I can't really identify male or female. It's like an androgynous spirit shadow that I see deep in my spirit. It's somewhere in here, and it's encapsulated by like, the round things that Goku had to come to Earth on, like those round, it like holds you. It's in there, and it's surrounded by all this warmth, oranges and sands and gold. It's like a desert scene, and it's just chilling. It's just literally so powerful that it's like a conductor. It's constantly sending a channel at all times. It's like holding the fabric. Like if we were to give me a rope and then my higher self a rope, it's like the soul's job is to keep that connection open at all times. So meditation is really about just sitting in a space where you can open that channel. And we do that with the elements. We do that with our hearts being wide open, like busted wide open. You have to have a fully open heart. See, look, that is absolutely, we got the whale song, which is about resonating. So we've got this really watery ocean theme coming through here. This, look at that. I hope you can see that. It's a whale. Remember I talked to, I have to get up now. Look, remember I told you the Goku thingy came on Earth? Look. Say that's not, that's exactly what I was saying. Sorry to yell. The whale song resonating. So this whale is representing the figures I was noticing on the random ships, on the small boats. And this figure, the boats were us. And here's this wall, this barrier, but it's so flexible and fluid. It's still programmable, because water is memory and water is like life. So everything we know is water. And it's like this water bubble is keeping us somewhat protected, but it's also connecting to the waters above. They say something about that in the Bible. I don't really understand exactly, but it's like a globe. You've got the water within the atmosphere, or the what holds all the gravity in, and then you have what vacuums out. And if you go into space, you like lose time. It's crazy. And then I'm just not even playing. This is exactly what I was just describing. Look. Then we get the stars in the sky, limitless possibilities. So it's so interesting. I said on the whale, which is 61, it's all about us keeping everything within the atmosphere to keep gravity in. And that's kind of what's trying to happen here. And then if you look on this one, it says limitless possibilities of the sky, and it's 51. So it's like the 51, 61, which is the poles. We see the polar opposites, which would be the gravity and the, vacuum, which is showing there. And if you see the being on this 61 card, it's like that's the the pull, the draw, you know what I'm saying? Like it's pulling it through. It's pulling the frequency down. So we're getting an alignment with something. We have the walls, the obstacles, lost compass, getting back to integrity, mystery. Remember, this is a mystery. We've been lost from who we are for a period of time. But now, with so much of us becoming aware of our shadow and integrating it, understanding it, learning about our higher selves and connecting these parts of ourselves back together, many people are naturally raising the vibration of the planet. We're all raising the vibration of the planet. It's just for a period of time it's been in a state of low vibration, which has been the opposite of what we're about to experience. So we are leaving a darker time and entering a time of light, a time of clarity where you're going to see Age of Aquarius, air element. So you're going to be able to experience the unseen because you can't see air. You just know that it's there. And we're entering this place of knowing because the Aquarius is also as the knowing. I know. It's a future progressive energy where we're going to make so much progress with technology and advancements and justice, causes for the world that help the world, that nurture, change the world. People are going to sacrifice themselves and their dreams for the many. People are going to start standing up together for the bigger issues. This is the fight back. This is where we are going to experience our natural polarity of black and white, is as we push back on some of this battling that we've been experiencing, we're going to the pendulum swing. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're experiencing. But we have to understand how slow the pendulum swing is. Like, it's not like our perception, which is like this. Like, no, like maybe when we were born, the pendulum was here and we're now 40 years old and it's here. It's moving at such a slow rate. It could take hundreds and thousands of years for it to revert back to a side, a polarity. And that has something to do with the magnetism that's keeping everything in. And this is what we're disconnected from. And what the hell does this matter for? When I channel, I don't know what the heck I be channeling. Just it's like, why? Like sometimes I'm like, why do I go that direction? But I'm not guiding it. I'm just open to it. And this is what's coming in. The mushroom has a lot to say on so many levels, and it speaks to so many people. We gotta breathe. We can't wear masks. And this isn't picking a side or saying advice or anything. This is saying we have to breathe. And we have to believe that it's safe to breathe. That the air is going to produce healthy processes in our bodies. We want our body to be stable and balanced. But constantly feeding the logical linear side of our brains to the point where we drown out our creativity and we can't access our imagination because we're so programmed to think and be a certain way that we completely lose touch with our darkness, our dark side, which isn't bad. Dark doesn't mean bad at all. Like, it's dark at night every single day. You know, there's dark people, there's dark, you know, like there's there's dark universe, and there's like, it's just, there's no reason to fear dark. Dark is just the opposite of light, which means it's a part of the light. Because without the darkness, we couldn't have the light. So it's like we have to understand this massively and out there, but it's also in here. It's also constantly happening. We're constantly experiencing this. And in everything, you should be able to see yourself. And that's another thing meditation is going to teach you. It's not about it has nothing to do with the physical world. It's like the physical world is like a tool of it. But I guess that's why the mystery is why. Like why? What's the reason? Can you explain that part? I forgot my water. I'm a little upset. That's all this water came out to talk shit, because I was right before this. I was like, I'm gonna go get my water. I've got a big jug of water, and I was like, no, I'm gonna ignore my intuition, and I envisioned something happening where I was gonna need the water, and it's just kind of funny. The universe will play these tricks with all this water right here, and then also me needing the water. Like it's just like, haha, you should have drank that water. But I didn't, so here we are. Letting go. Letting go of who you believe you are, what job you think you work at, what relationships you think you have, how they're going, who they are. You think you know people. You think you really know people. But you don't even know yourself. It's hard to know somebody else when you don't know yourself. So how can you forgive? How can you love or care for anyone else if you don't love yourself first? And how can you love yourself if you don't know who you are? By who you are, I mean, like, why are you here? What is your purpose? What mission do you have in life? How are you of service? How do you contribute? How do you help grow things? Are you something that shrinks the light or expands the light? Do you exuberate it? Or can you not escape the darkness? Is it like, how are you on the scale, and how are you at measuring people on the scale? And relationships are it's one of the top things as a human to be able to understand is personal relationships. That's why tarot is all about love readings, which I think is so ridiculous. How can we put something so profound as oracle and tarot cards and even limit that skill to something like, is someone cheating on me? Or it's like we have such a misunderstanding of who we are and what we're doing and what we're experiencing that we're confused on how to connect to the ether. Because tarot cards are a way, it's a channel, it's a visual aid to channel into the ether amongst other ways. And we're using it, meaning this is the level of our consciousness, is we have just the ability to foresee into our personal relationships, meaning the two individuals that are being questioned or asked about are the ones that can't figure out their own lives. You know what I'm saying? So channels and mediums and psychics are out here helping people foresee into this kind of stuff, rather than using those abilities to foresee into things that are going to be more progressive, more helpful, because it's just where we are. It's not to say it's bad. It's to say, well, if we could measure the timeline, that's where we are. So there's a lot of timelines, there's a lot of choices, there's a lot of scenarios. Some of the stuff that comes through my mind, I can't even put into words. I mean, it would take 5 hours of me trying to explain some things that they show me within seconds. And I'm just like, how in the world am I supposed to put that out into words? But we're going to get there because we're going to meditate. We're going to meditate. We're going to help raise the awareness of self so we can have access to the parts of us that are not active, that are dormant, that are waiting for us to waken them. So our soul can clearly speak and experience its truth here on earth. Rhythm, patterns, creating patterns for your life is going to help us all get more structured with connecting to ourselves a little better, to be able to access our creativity and our passions and our joys, being able to say yes when we want to say yes and no when we want to say no, having clear boundaries and balance of home life, freedom, passion, love, joy, friendships, family, and the things that we have to do, like responsibilities and community, family, is also on that side. There's a lot of balance that we need to figure out, and we're going to do that by not pointing the fingers at other people. We're going to do our best to point the fingers at ourselves, look in the mirror, so we can work through our shadow, which is just a part of us that's trying to work out. It's like kneading bread. You know how back in the day they would make the dough and you got to knead the bread. Like, that's literally what we're doing. We're trying to work out the kinks, and we all have to face our shadow. We have to forgive. We have to let go. We have to understand and empathize and not judge, because at some degree we are all experiencing the same experiences, just at different timelines. So you may have wisdom in an area that someone has ignorance, vice versa. So we're just learning to share, to be harmonious and balanced and love, so we can work that equilibrium back into balance. I'm going to cut off that channel. And thank you so much for watching. So if you resonated with anything that I said, please let me know down below, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.